Hello, Tamily. It is time for episode 161 of Ask Tamily. And our guest today is my Tamily Secret Santa and one of our favorite Tamily inspirations, Marissa. And her Instagram name is Marissa Mermaid 86. So if you aren't following her already, you definitely should, and we will be connected in a second. It's always the most nerve-wracking part.
Hi.
Hi, Marissa. Thanks
Hello.
for joining us. We're excited for interview 161 with you.
Oh my goodness.
Crazy. So thank you for joining us. I mentioned that you were my Ask Tamily Secret Santa at the start of this, and just wanted to say that you are like a positive, inspirational light in the Tamily, and I use that green Starbucks cup constantly. So
It was screaming your name.
I got it, and I was like, she knows me. It was excellent. So just wanted to thank you for that. And we'll go ahead and get into some of our planned questions. But of course, we'll also take questions from the chat. So anyone can type those in and we'll scroll through and be sure to answer them as well. So let's start with our favorite question, which is when and how did you get involved with the Tracy Anderson method?
Of course, the number one question. And I kind of have the number one answer for a lot of us, which was watching Oprah, the Queen, and seeing Gwyneth do her interview and show that she was getting ready for this movie, and her trainer was this little petite Tracy Anderson. So right away, it sparked my interest because I'm like, who is this little woman training Gwyneth and making her work so hard, and she's exhausted, and she's the little gal that could do it all. So I'm like, I need to know what this is, what's happening here, the bands, the whole thing. So of course I kind of looked into her, but I don't think I bought the first Matt DVD until 2010.
Okay.
And that's when I started doing it. And I was very much like, what is this? Why does it hurt in all these places? And none of my gym classes made this happen for me. So I think that was my introduction to the method. And then from there, I bought the book, The 30-Day Method. And I used to read it at my son's soccer practices and like read chapter over and over and over again to be like, what is this terminology? What is this research? Oh my goodness. So that basically got me hooked, and I've just been following her ever since.
So did you do metamorphosis and continuity also, or did you jump framing?
I did metamorphosis, the abcentric one. I did that like 2 times. I also did continuity, but I wasn't as consistent with it. I mean, I have all the DVDs, but I just didn't get into a routine where I was doing it all the time like everyone else. But with that said, now later on, after a lot of these programs were put into place where you could find out your centric, I was doing abcentric, and now I find out I'm glute centric.
Oh.
So I have since bought all the glute centric DVDs and have been doing those as well.
So, how many years would you say that you've actually been consistent doing the method?
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, consistency is, to everyone is different. But I would say about 4 to 5 times a week for the past 5 years, I would say. But then before that, when it was more the DVDs, before streaming, I did get into cycling. I got into like a hot yoga studio. So I did a lot of that, but I always compared it to the method and what it did to my body versus the method. And I kind of loved having that journey because I did pick up a lot of things from those other practices. but it was never Tracy. It was never that level, that algorithm that she created. Um, so I'm back. I'll probably always come back if I ever stray away.
So what kind of results do you think you've had from the method, like both physical and non-physical?
So physical, definitely, like the cinching of the waist and all these places you didn't know you had a waist or you could get into. So for me, that's a big thing just because I have had a child. So getting the abdomen back, the back, seeing my butt lift where I wouldn't normally get that in a regular workout, all those benefits. But as well as mentally, I think it's a lot of her talks and a lot of her own journey, bringing that to our lives and giving us all of her tips and tricks and wisdom, just to kind of slow down, be at the level you're at, but also push yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I think the family life balance I've taken from her as well, just talking about how she puts her family first, her children, like they really do come first, but also taking care of ourselves so that we can take care of them. I definitely have taken that from her. And every after class talk she does, any Ask Tracy interview she ever did, I wrote down notes. I mean, I have like the Bible of Tracy.
That's excellent. So for you, what do you think kind of keeps you motivated to continue prioritizing, your health and wellness and having a regular workout routine?
um, well, I kind of suffer from anxiety and overdoing it in a lot of areas of my life. So working out always kind of grounds me and brings me back to the place I need to be. Also, like those happy hormones right when you're done with the workout definitely helps. Um, what else brings me back? I mean, the community, the Tamily, I'm always watching even if I'm not posting. I'm always cheering everybody on, and I feel the same back to me when I'm putting myself out there. I feel the support from them. It's definitely a hard workout, and I want to come back because it challenges me. I want to age gracefully. I want to age the way Tracy is.
What about the Tamily community inspires you the most?
Oh my goodness. Everybody has their own journey and their own struggles. And I think over the years, they've been putting themselves out there more and their personal journeys, like how they've felt about themselves, like the things that they've gone through. It's not so surface level. And I really, really, really enjoy that because we all have our own story. And the more people vocalize it, the more we all become like one entity in a way of like support for each other.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a ton of different people in the Tamily and all over the world and all different backgrounds and stuff, but we do just have that one relatable thing that kind of brings us together, and then you realize like what all the similarities are. And I mean, it's just like such a powerful thing to have such a community of people with a common interest and goal, and ways that you can get support.
Right. Yeah. When we first started with Meta, there was that website, and I think it was like kind of like a chat room. Mm-hmm. And I would always scroll the threads and the feed, and it was so exciting at that time because you're doing a workout and then there's people from all over the world doing it. And I think we were all just so excited to be like, hey, you do it with me. Oh my gosh. Because a lot of times it was just like Tracy in our living room, just her, and that was it. And then the chat room came along, but then also I think Instagram took it to a whole different level when we started streaming. Yeah. And there was people that came in and out. There's some people that aren't doing it anymore that were in that community, but now it has grown more than ever.
Mm-hmm. When you think about that chat room, I was so inspired by that chat room, and it was just words. Like now we actually know each other. You can see people, videos, tips. Like, it's just so funny what a different level it is now with the Tamily on Instagram.
Yeah, and I think having that community makes it so much better because for me, I do crave community. I wish I had a Tracy Anderson studio in Minneapolis that I could just jump over to all the time. I think it would help me be more consistent.
Mm-hmm.
It would help me get in there. I can be kind of shy, so it's not like my thing to always put out all of my information or all of my stuff for the world to like participate in. But I do feel the safety in the Tamily community, and my profile is private. So if you're a part of the Tamily, I kind of bet you, like, yeah, you'll be my friend. You're a part of it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, having that studio, I feel like for me is the missing piece. But I think September 1st, we might be getting that experience.
Yeah, that is definitely an exciting possibility, however it's going to be set up. That is definitely a cool announcement.
Yeah, if that just kicks my butt a little bit more to maybe up my game and get in there with everybody, I'm all for it.
I think the other thing too, because I mean, I would hope one day she has studios everywhere, but until then, even just like meeting a family member for coffee is like inspirational, besides some of the, serious meetups that we had like pre-pandemic. So I know you were at the Chicago meetup. What did you think about that experience?
Oh wow. So it was nerve-wracking, but like I'm definitely a yes girl where like if a vacation plan shows up and it like my intuition is like yes, you need to do that, I jump on it and I do it. I don't want to miss out in life. Like I want to be involved. So when Cassie posted that and was like, hey, anybody wants to come, come. And I was like, all right, I'm doing it. I'm going to Chicago. It's like a 6.5 hour drive, but it's like an hour flight from me.
Mm-hmm.
So I just flew down there in the middle of freezing weather and we just did it. I think when I showed up, my nerves even amped up a little bit more because I haven't met anybody in person that were there. So I didn't know if it was going to be a ton of like super athletic type A people, which we are.
Yeah.
But also, am I going to feel like I can relate to a lot of these people? I don't know what I was walking into, and I think everybody felt that way. But the people that gave it a shot and gave it a chance and sat themselves in the chair next to everybody, did the workout and had the conversations, we all walked away with a huge sense of community, even more so. And that when's the next one? Because we're jumping on the flight, we're driving, whatever it takes.
Yeah, gosh, who knew? Like at that time, I was like, I need to do this once a month, and wherever it is, like I just have to do it. And then it was, I don't know, 3 weeks later that like everything was shutting down.
My goodness. Yeah, we didn't know, but it was obviously meant to be that happened, so we could. Yeah, and the Vitality Week was supposed to be in March that year, and that was canceled.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, obviously, it's great to do a Vitality Week and work out with Tracy and everything. But honestly, those meetups, which like you can do pretty economically, I mean, especially something like if it's an hour flight and you can find a good hotel, like it's so worth it. And just to have that energy of all working out together and then having cheeseburgers for lunch together.
That was you and I. We were like, order the burger. We worked extra hard.
Right.
That was the week that Tracy double weighted intermediate and we were hauling our weights around like crazy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I hope we can reenact that very, very soon.
Mm-hmm.
That was an amazing.
Yeah.
So besides that meetup, have you ever been to a Vitality Week or visited a studio?
So I have not been to a Vitality Week. I definitely wish I would have jumped on it like 6 years ago when it was more of a newer thing. And, but financially, it all comes into play. You have to think about your family and your life and what's going on. but I should get a bank account ready for the next one. But I did go on a work trip, a work conference in New York City. Oh, gosh, when was it? Maybe a year prior to the Chicago meetup. And I did go to 59th Street, and I was like a total fish out of water. I felt so awkward, but I absolutely loved it. I did a band class, and I think just like an intermediate class. Um, and I will never forget this I think I took the 6 a.m. one or the 7 a.m. one. I think it was the 6 a.m. one. And there's a class before that. And so I just sat on the stairs where you're not supposed to sit. And I just watched like all of the community working out and doing it. And I was like, oh my gosh, they are beasts. Have they even had coffee yet? What is happening? So yeah, I was a total newbie. And then I remember going into the class, I think it was fundamental, and I took 2 mats with me to my spot because I was so paranoid that my legs and my shins were gonna hurt on the wood floor. Like I was like, I better double up. And I think I remember Courtney walking in, and I think she would looked at me like I was nuts. She probably did. Maybe she didn't, but I thought she was like, this girl's crazy.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
So we have a couple questions for you in the chat. Deb would like to know, have you been Zooming with the Tamily at all during the pandemic?
So I did at the very beginning. I think I was doing the 9 a.m. Central Time, which was Michelle Maplegoat was hosting. So I think I did that like twice, but then I fell off just because of all of the things in my life, obviously. Because I'm also in school and working and raising a kid.
Yeah.
But I wish I would have continued with that because I think that was a really good time to connect with the community even more so. And then just recently, I hooked up with Karen in New York City and we did a Zoom together. And that was so fun, and I want to do it again. But they're usually doing like a 5 a.m. my time. That's rough. So, I mean, if anybody wants to organize like an 8 a.m. Central Time, I will join. Push me. Push the button.
I'm sure we will have people doing that now that you've said it. Then we have another question. What is your favorite hour of the day to work out?
Honestly, lately, because of the pandemic, I work from home. So, like, a lunch hour is actually perfect for me because I've already kind of had my matcha latte, I've had my smoothie. I'm like, I have energy, I have nutrition in me, I'm ready to go, and I'm alert. I'm not the biggest morning person, but that's a goal of mine to kind of switch it. But yeah, the pandemic for me has helped because I've been working from home, but I think that will change and I'll want to be more of the earlier morning workout.
Yeah, that makes sense. That is definitely one of the kind of silver linings. Like, it does make it easier. Now that I'm like in my house all the time, I'm like, I used to work out in hotel rooms. I better get it together when I'm at home.
Yeah, I remember sitting in my cubicle at work, and none of my workers would ever go even on a walk. And I'm just sitting here like, okay, how much time do I have to go change, get down to that room downstairs and do some arms and maybe some leg lifts? Let's just see what I can do. And you're like hustling, and then you have to go put your work outfit back on and just be like, okay.
What is something that you have learned from Tracy?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I think balance. I think in a lot of different ways, like balance in our bodies, listening to our bodies, learning about knitting our muscles and creating balance in our physique, but then also in our lives, and listening to our guts and not overdoing things. Also, yeah, that family life balance. I really look up to her with that. Because she had a child younger in age, and I think she gained a lot of weight in that pregnancy. And I gained 70 pounds in my pregnancy. So definitely seeing her being 5 feet tall, I'm 5 feet tall, and having gained that much weight in a pregnancy, and then the similarity in my pregnancy, and then wanting to feel young and put together and balanced in your body. I definitely take that from her and really take her story and kind of put it into mine. I think she's more than just like someone that I follow for working out. She really is a mentor to so many people. And she's done it very, very, very well. And maybe she doesn't realize how many people she reaches, but we're here and we're still going to continue to be here.
Yeah, hopefully she does realize it, but I think you're right. Like, she has so much more impact than a workout person. Like, when you think about other people that, are really big in that industry, it's not quite the same as like what we all get from Tracy about overall well-being.
Yeah.
What would be your advice to someone who is new to the method or new to the Tamily?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I ponder on this question just because I was new so long ago when there was only a couple DVDs out.
Yeah.
And I remember my struggle when I first entered this realm was my wrists and my knees, and my knees would be so sore from putting a lot of weight on them, and my wrists would hurt so bad, even though I wasn't super heavy, but I was like doing all these planks and ab-centric work. And my wrists hurt so bad, and I was like, is this healthy? Is this good? And it's teaching your body to work in a different way. But Tracy has talked about this throughout the years, is you need to be lighter. You need to hold your weight in your abdomen. You need to hold your weight in your back to support this. Even though it looks like you should be putting all your weight down on your hands and your wrists, you really need to be more like a cat and fluid.
Yeah.
So I think for anybody who's new, like, give it a chance. I mean, you will be going through pains because your body doesn't know how to hold your weight a certain way yet. But take it slow. Do beginner. Watch the breakdowns. The breakdowns are huge because we never had that at the beginning, and I think that would have helped a lot when I started. And connect with other beginners and maybe do Zooms together. I think that accountability would be there, so you could at least try it and learn the language of it without giving up and just joining some other method, because you're always going to just be gym hopping, until you find your home, if you ever do.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's definitely something that makes a big difference. And I think reminding people that are new that every day you're going to build strength and flexibility and balance. So when people are like, I don't know how you handle the wrist pain or how you can do a hydrant on only one knee and one arm, like, now that stuff was like, my wrists haven't hurt for 5 years. Like, and it's almost nothing to balance in ways that, I mean, really before, you'd struggle like lifting one leg and having both hands on the ground.
Oh, I'd be falling over and watching it until it was done. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, now it's so different just because your physical abilities do progress. Even though it like feels slow, it is a little tiny bit every single day.
Yeah, just give it a chance and connect with the community. It's a blessing that we have it.
So we have a question for you in the chat. This is from Kristen.
Yay!
It's gonna be a little deep. She says, if money and time were not an issue, where would you be right now and what would you be doing?
I love this question. So I think, well, I would say I would be in Hawaii on a beautiful island with like-minded people, living our best life. I know that's a super millennial thing to say, but that is what it is. Eating fresh food right off of the farms. If we want to go swimming, let's go swimming. And we're a community. Like, I want to be a part of a community, and we'll do Tracy. We'll wake up and, take long walks on the beach. Like, I am getting married in Maui next June. Yeah, I'm so excited. Very, very much goals to do the method more consistently and up my game, because I'm an intermediate, so I want to get into an advanced level this next year. That's my goal. So, I mean, that's where I'd want to be. But also, if no money was an object, obviously, we'd just be giving back. We'd be sitting on our computers in Maui, happy as could be. All right, where can we give back? What can we do next to help? And that's another thing with Tracy. She's always giving back, and it's super inspirational.
Yeah, definitely. Je suis Goldie said, congratulations about your wedding.
Thank you.
That is so super fun. So you said June of next year. That's like not even really that far from now.
It was supposed to be this November.
Okay.
So we've had to push it. And so it's June 2022.
Well, that is super, super exciting. You'll have to keep us in the loop of all your plans.
I will. I've been shy for years on Instagram. And I think with the wedding stuff, I will definitely be sharing more.
I love to just eat it up. My wedding was like 16 years ago. So I'm like, I need to see what everyone else is doing.
When is the renewal happening?
It's a great point. But like, I would totally redo all of it. I love what
yes.
So we'll switch back a little bit to the method. Do you ever do dance cardio?
Do I ever? Yes. But I dabble. I have not fully immersed myself in it just because I've been swamped with school and all things, and I'd rather do the mat work versus cardio. But when I do sneak it in, I will try and get 15 to 20 minutes at max is usually what I can get in right now. And it makes the biggest difference in results. And even how you feel, like that energy boost at the end, like your endorphins are just kicking. But I do want to challenge myself and learn some dances. Yeah, I need to work on that more. I have the floor. It makes all the difference. If anybody's even on the edge of wanting to get a floor and they know they're going to be doing this for a long time, just bite the bullet and get it.
I've been thinking about it a lot. I know, like, everybody posts when they get it and stuff, and I keep thinking about it. So how long have you had the floor?
So I think I got it last September. I got the American Gym floor. So it's a little bit cheaper on the budget if you want to go that route. I did have to stain it, but it does the job.
Yeah. It's another, like, level of how involved you are in the method, so it definitely makes sense if it's feasible.
Yeah, and I think it's even actually easier on your joints doing the mat work on that floor.
I have heard that too.
Yeah, when I experienced working out in the studio, I mean, the floor was there, and I was so afraid that, like, my joints, or I was going to be in pain, I was going to, like, scoff up my wrists or whatever on this hardwood floor, because I had learned on a hardwood floor, and that's what happened. And it really just supported you, and it was fine.
Yeah, that is definitely an additional benefit of it besides being fun dance cardio.
Yeah.
How did you discover the Tamily in general, especially because you were doing the method really before the Tamily existed?
Yeah, so the minute it was like November or December 2014, or that was when Tracy posted on Instagram, like, she was like in a winter coat and these cute leggings, like in New York City, and she was like, I have some exciting news. Or maybe that was the first video from streaming, I don't remember, but she's like, we're gonna do streaming. You're gonna be live in studio with me. And I was like, yes, sign me up. Wherever you go, I will go. I've been so craving because she would give snippets of her in-studio classes, and you'd be like, gosh, that would be so awesome to be in there with her and be in New York City and get that heat and humidity. So I signed up. I watched everything the moment it was released. It was heaven. And I think about a month later that she was trying to promote the streaming platform. So she had a couple of her friends, and they created a contest. And I think that was when TA Real Time hashtag started. And so it was like post your workouts and then post these hashtags. And that's kind of where the Tamily was really born. But I think, was it Jillian that created the Tamily hashtag, and then everybody caught on, and that was ways to find the videos to see them. And she was always doing the wigs and the outfits, and everyone was just having the best time ever.
Yeah, like a theme of the week and stuff. I think that was right before I started, but
I followed. I did not participate it, but I definitely felt the energy, and it kept me moving.
Yeah, that makes all the difference. I'll never understand how Jillian can do a workout in a wig, but it definitely helps.
Yeah, it's inspiring.
It is. So I was going to ask you what you're drinking. I'm not sure that you've been drinking anything during this interview.
I am. So I have like a Paloma. It's tequila and grapefruit juice.
That is excellent.
I'm celebrating. Hey.
I thought about making a tequila sunrise before this interview, and I thought, oh, that might be a little too much, but I'll definitely make one afterwards.
Cheers to that.
So Marissa, for you, what is the most important thing to maintain balance in your life?
To definitely ground myself, take deep breaths. I think even more of a spiritual practice, whatever that looks like. In my world, a lot of the times it's meditation or working out, to get into that space to, ground myself and be more in the moment and have a better perspective on everything, because my anxiety can be really amped up when I have a lot going on. I am pretty type A. I do let some things go, but for schooling, I'm in school right now, and I have to get A's. It's just my thing. So I kind of stress myself out more than I probably should. When I'm doing a Tracy workout, I push myself to do every move. I mean, even if I have to hit pause, rewind, because I missed something to get it all in, that's kind of my personality. So to balance that, it really is to be more in the moment, take vacations, meditate, and stop being as type A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's the thing that brings us all here.
Seriously.
Who else would sign up for working out every day for the rest of your life?
Right.
But it has its positives and negatives, so it is definitely good to have that more balanced perspective.
Yeah, and I mean, also Tracy's workout, we can work out every day for the rest of our lives, because she puts us in those, like, when I'm doing the workout, I'm like, I'm going to be so sore. I'm going to be so sore. And then the next morning, I'm like, oh, I can do it again.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It really is just, a flow of building all of the strength and flexibility and everything. But of course, there will be those occasional classes that it's like, oh my gosh, we must be working some brand new stuff.
Yep.
So what would you say were some of your most challenging moves as you've gone through your journey with the method?
Okay. So for me, it's more of like the advanced classes, the 7-step moves, because maybe it's more of an internal struggle for me to get through them and feel successful. It takes a lot more patience, and you're not necessarily always seeing where the results are going to come from. It's just more like a frustrating train you're on, and it goes slower maybe sometimes to get through it. So that's been more the struggle. There isn't really specific moves because I've kind of done everything now where I know that, oh, this is like the hydrant or the leg up in the air this way, toe pointed this way, going this way. And a lot of those moves that work out my back actually feel really, really good. Whereas before my arms would have given out and I would have collapsed. But yeah, it's the 7-part moves that I think are really supposed to grow us long term that make me just want to give up.
Those moves are why I'm an intermediate.
Probably me too.
I don't know. I'll do advanced occasionally, and especially like if there's, a Tracy live that I could join, which now she does those as intermediate, I think. But I would, but it's like when you have some of those moves, I feel like, I don't know, it's probably, obviously it's different for everybody, but if you're doing 20 reps and you've never got the rep correct, I'm like, I just can't. No, let me go over to intermediate where I know I can get 15 out of 20 on the spot versus, so I think you're totally right about like the patience.
Right. And in intermediate, she'll make one move super advanced, and then in intermediate, she kind of just makes it easier to perform. And then it kind of feels like it's the same anyway, so you're super successful there. But I do understand, I've watched every single talk she's put out there, that if we're comfortable, we're not necessarily growing, and sometimes we have to annoy ourselves a bit.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely all for our benefit. I'm like, this is a stupid move. And then I'm like, no, it's probably what I need. But,
yeah,
we all move through the journey. So your goal is going to be to move to advanced before June of next year?
Well, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to set myself up for failure. But I think it's going to be more of doing it 6 days a week, which is like for me, 5 is kind of my magic number. I'll be doing it 6 days a week, alternating between intermediate and advanced, or at least giving advanced a try. And because sometimes advanced isn't that bad, and it feels like an intermediate, but then there's those other times where you're just, I'd rather get a full workout in than feel like a failure and give up 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
So yeah, my goal is to give advanced more of a try. Also connect more with the Tamily, get on Zoom calls to kind of help keep me consistent. And also put in the dance cardio and maybe do some privates. Just to get the trainer to be like, all right, girl, here it is. I'm going to whip you into shape.
Yeah, that can be really, really helpful. Like, especially from a form perspective, or like I've done them before and it's like, you've got the form, you just have to do more reps than you think you can. And, there isn't anyone in the room telling me that I shouldn't stop at 10. But, like that definitely gives you that kind of extra push. And all the trainers are so amazing to me. That's really another, silver lining of the horrible pandemic we've all had to endure, is like literally being able to, meet with some of those trainers and have direct one-on-one time. Like, that's fantastic.
It's absolutely amazing that these gyms that have like these exclusive memberships can open up to the world, and we can all, up our game even more so. So yeah, that's definitely on the bucket list. I love when people share about that experience because they always walk away going, that was worth every penny and more.
Yeah, and I mean, it's definitely not, a small amount of money or anything, but if you look at it like it's something that you're going to treat yourself with, I mean, it's similar to, don't buy Starbucks for 2 weeks and then you can probably handle it.
Right. I've noticed more as I've gotten older too, the more money you spend on a specific goal, specific thing that you want as an investment, the more you end up getting out of it. So if you're kind of being cheap with certain things, you're not going to really get what you really want out of it. Sometimes you have to pay for the extra.
Yeah. Yeah. And even, I mean, people who've done like one trainer session feel like it's, you know, really beneficial for them to like kind of take those tips and things and use them, you know, going forward in your own workouts.
Yeah. And then you'll be like, oh, I know how to do this now. I'm going to execute.
Yeah. I'm always looking for the next Tracy thing that will be motivating. So definitely the September 1st thing should be super exciting.
I'm so excited. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah. I mean, even just to see the energy of the classrooms too, because while, you know, I've definitely appreciated that Tracy kept all these workouts going during this time, watching her by herself, it has, you know, it's like benefits and you can feel like maybe you're just with her, but it has definitely been, you know, a little bit of a miss of like not seeing all the Tamily together in a class. And, you know, I mean, we used to be able to see like, oh, we know that person and there's Kat in the New York City studio and things like that. Like,
and that was right before the pandemic happened, is where she was having other trainers teaching our classes that we could, and there was like the Spotify classes, which I love because of the music.
Yep.
And so I was always in Courtney's classes. She had the best playlist. And when that went away, it was kind of like, wah, like the energy that really pushed you. So I'm hoping it's back to that.
Yeah, especially too because they're like you can, you know, just see such differences in the trainers and their music style, and you find the person that you have, you know, a vibe with. Like, I mean, Courtney's playlists are just incredible. So, yeah, that definitely will make a difference.
It's always sexy music.
Oh, that is what like powers her workouts for sure.
Yeah.
So, what is something that is important to you, Marissa, that you would want to share with the Tamily?
I would say that if you're already rocking it and you're going to be doing this for the rest of your life, thank you, thank you, thank you for putting yourself out there or checking in once in a while and showing up to a meetup, and showing that you're consistent and giving other people tips on how to make their TAM caves better. I'm so appreciative of the people that have been giving their all and then they just do even more. Mm-hmm. And then the people that are kind of in and out with consistency or feeling like they need to, you know, run a marathon and then come back to it, like, we're always going to be here. Mm-hmm. I think the community is never going to go away, and the newbies, like, you can just jump on in and ask people questions in the DMs, get on those Zoom calls. Yeah, it's a great community, and utilize it if you need that.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. People really shouldn't feel intimidated. As soon as they reach out to anyone, they'll feel welcome. So,
oh yeah,
it's like don't just watch for months and not say anything to anyone. Like, go ahead and send a DM or, you know, comment on a post or whatever, and you'll be brought into the fold just like everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's coming from a shy person. I know for sure I will be absent for like a year, and then all of a sudden I'm involved and I feel just as welcome as any other time.
Yeah. So, Marissa, in addition to having the floor and stuff, do you also use heat and humidity at home?
Yeah, I haven't this summer as much just because sometimes I have to take more breaks when I have the heat and humidity, and I kind of want to be time sensitive because I have to work and all those things, so I try and plow through it without it, but it does amp the level. I do have the infrared heater. I have an awesome humidifier. I get it up really high. The smaller the space, the better to get it up really hot. But yeah, I will incorporate that again this fall.
How long were you doing the method before you added heat and humidity?
Probably, gosh, 6 years ago, but not humidity, because it was just like space heaters. Mm-hmm. So it was dry heat. She hadn't really explained that dry heat was bad yet. Mm-hmm. So of course I was like red faced, my skin was super dry, but I was hot and I was doing it. But now the humidity does make a difference. You just have to be really careful to protect your space with mold issues and just putting that much moisture into the house. I know a lot of people have done like the plastic wrap around the basement room if it's not finished. But yeah, humidity helps. You don't want to be super dry.
Yeah, definitely. And that's, how it is in the studio too. So
Yeah.
as much as we can replicate that, the better.
Yes. Yes.
Um, well, Marissa, we're coming up on the end of our time here. I don't see any other questions in the chat at this point. Of course, anyone can type some more in before we end. But is there anything else that you would like to share with the Tamily or say while you have this audience?
Just keep supporting me. Please reach out if you have a Zoom session. I want to be more involved, but sometimes I need the nudge and like the accountability to get there. And if you need any advice on like anything TAM related, positions, your TAM cave, I'm definitely here. I've done a lot to my TAM cave and I feel very blessed to have it. I actually started in doing the Tracy Anderson method in my mom's living room because I was living at home, single mom, going to school, working. So I would have to push the couch back, pull the rug back. I know all the things that people have to deal with in small apartments. And I'm just so lucky now to have my own space, and it does make a difference. And then, yeah, I think I want to do an MTV Cribs edition for my Tam Cave.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll be coming soon.
That'll be awesome. Are you in your Tam Cave right now?
No, I'm in my living room. No.
Okay. I was gonna say, we can turn this into family cribs.
I want to so bad. There was like so much Tracy memorabilia that I had bought over the years, and I like kind of gave some stuff away. And I'm like, oh, I should have kept that for my Tam Cave.
Well, we will be looking forward to a video of your Tam Cave.
Okay.
And also to you joining some Zooms.
Yeah.
And details on your wedding plans.
Oh, yay. It's going to be so much fun. Oh, thank you so much, Suzanne. You're amazing.
Oh, you're amazing, Marissa, and the whole community is amazing. So thank you for being interview 161.
Yes.
Tamily, thanks, Marissa.
Bye.